And we're back here on In the Pit, Penn's Peak Radio. It is Kara in the studio with you this evening. And that was Cardboard Box Spaceship from Little Image off their upcoming album, Musings, that is going to be released tomorrow. I am lucky enough this evening to be chatting with Jackson of Little Image. How are you doing tonight, Jackson?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing so good. So excited for your release tomorrow. What is the feelings right now with you? Excited? Nervous? How are you feeling?
I think it's like a mixture of like everything. Whenever you release any kind of art, is just like a mix of like, nervous and excited and just like, relieved, because it was just like, it's always a long process when you make a record, so it was definitely just like a relieving thing to have it all done and ready to go. So, but definitely a good mix of nervous and excited for sure.
Nice. I like it.
Yeah.
Musings released tomorrow, August 11th, your first debut album, but not your first release. So Before we dive into this album, because I want to talk all about it, let's take it back for a second and let listeners know who you guys are. Who is Little Image, and how did you guys start?
So I actually wrote the first EP that we released called These Are Just Words, and it was just me and our producer who played on it and wrote all the songs and recorded everything, just the two of us. And then I wanted to like play the songs live. I wanted to be able to reproduce what we were recording in the studio and all that. And so basically what happened is I met our guitarist on Instagram, and we started talking, and I was like, hey man, I want to start putting together some live stuff. Do you want to play? And he was totally down. He was like super excited. And then our drummer we met through a friend who was trying to get us connected with his band at the time. And then he started playing with us. And so it was just kind of like mainly just either by chance or over social media that we all met each other. And Abby, the girl who sings with us, is actually my sister. So I knew her just from being siblings. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, hey, you guys fell together and you're putting out amazing music by luck.
Thank you
but
so much.
It's good luck, if anything.
Yeah, sure.
So around what time, what year was that then you were starting to meet everyone?
Oh, geez. Now I guess it was probably 3 years ago. So it's been a while since we've released anything and since we've kind of been active as a band. And so we're definitely really excited to be hitting the road again. We're leaving for tour on Sunday and album release on tomorrow. So I'm definitely, excited to see it happening again. We took a good long break after our last tour almost 2 years ago. And spent a lot of time on this album and spent a lot of brain power and ideas like putting into this record, so it's definitely something we're excited about.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, sometimes, hey, taking a break's good. You find yourself and find out what you really want to make in life, and I think it's definitely working for you guys, so there you go.
Thank you so much. That means a lot. We're excited to see what happens.
Yeah, definitely. What, at the time then, when you were releasing your EP, what were your thoughts at that time going into the studio? What did you want to create?
I was actually challenged by a good friend of mine who's also an artist to write quite a few songs and then record them and release them just as a solo project. And so I think going in, it was just kind of like a challenge that I was given from one of my close friends and mentors. Not expecting to really, I was planning on releasing it the whole time, but not really expecting for it to, do anything or anything like that. And then we released it and had a release show, and like a lot of people showed up and really enjoyed it. And so I think really what I had in mind was just, fulfilling the challenge that was given to me from my close friend and making it, good, spending a lot of time on it. And so I think going into it wasn't really, I didn't really have the mindset of like, oh, I want to start a band. It was more like I just want to make these songs worth what the challenge was given to me.
At that time then, have you played live before when you were making these songs?
I had played a couple times, just like at coffee shops acoustically and stuff like that. But it was never really, it was kind of just a thing that I did for fun. It wasn't really, I didn't really probably see a full career path with it in the future, but I think the more I started doing it and the more I just noticed that I really enjoyed it, I definitely wanted to pursue it a little more heavily.
And now we're here 3 years later with your first full length. When did you, well, you said you took 2 years off, basically. When did you start, would you say, working on musings?
We started actually probably right before our last tour we did, which was November of 2015. We probably started writing around then, and then kind of just kept going with it after that tour. That's when we kind of started to, take a break, and finished writing a year and a half later. So it definitely, it started on that tour, and we actually, a couple months after that, a few of us went to a house, like, in the middle of nowhere, and with the intent to, like, write and, like, get stuff done for the album, and we came out with, like, 2 full songs. So it was definitely something that was worth it to us, and a refreshing time of writing. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, they always say, hey, your first things that you write are always the easiest. You have your whole life. You hear it all the time. So now that you were with the whole band writing, I mean, this wasn't just you. What was the growth? What was the difference in writing this album, say, than the EP?
Yeah, I would say it was definitely just, like, a lot more ideas given to me for the songs that I was writing, and just a lot, like, more views of songs, like, a lot more view on writing than I, like, that I personally have.
Okay.
So I would, like, start a song and write the lyrics and kind of the base of the song, and then having everyone's ideas and, like, having so many different angles of, creativity, and, like, even, like, Troy on drums and Brandon on guitar, like, helping me write, like, so many different things, and my sister, helping me write some of the lyrics was just, like, crazy how, a song could turn out different than, like, just myself working on something.
Yeah, and you don't have all the pressure on you to put one song out.
Right, and I think it was definitely, like, something that was more enjoyable to me, because there were, like, different angles of the songs people were hearing that I would have never heard unless someone else would have helped me with it. So it was definitely, like, something cool and refreshing and different for me going into writing this record, because it was just, I personally think it's better just in the sense of, like, we had more ideas flowing into it other than just me and our producer.
Yeah.
So I would say it was definitely one of the probably the most fun, but also probably the most stressful, not fun situations that I've ever been in. And I think any artist would say that, just, like, from, creative ideas, like, kind of being pushed around, and just different opinions on things, and, like, having to meet in the middle and stuff like that. And so it's definitely, like, something that was beautiful once it was done, and something that was beautiful even in the process, but also something that was very stressful and hard to do as a whole. So, but I think it was definitely worth it, and we laugh about those times. But I think it's definitely something. I think it's something that kind of comes from the meaning too. It's just, like, looking back on things and seeing how it was done and stuff like that. So
nice. Hey, you did a good for your first real length. Like, it doesn't sound like you guys. This is your first full length. It sounds like you have years and years and years of experience. It is so good.
I'm so glad.
It.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You said you went away. You guys got 2 whole songs out of going to this house. Was there, after finding these 2 songs, a concept arc that you wanted to work towards?
You mean with, like, the album art, or with the
songs, like, lining up, if you wanted them to work well together, or if it was just, hey, here's a group of songs that we like, let's put it on an album?
I think what it was there's a couple songs about when I met my girlfriend for the first time, and how we were in a long distance relationship for a little while, and then there's some songs about just our personal struggles that we've had. Brandon actually wrote one of the a full song on the record that's really good, called Walls, and that was just, like, about some of his personal struggles, and then some of them were just about things we see in the world that we want to see changed. And so I think what it was it was kind of a group of songs that didn't really have a full-on concept, I guess. But I think the way we tied it together, and the way we all kind of came together and had just the vision of making songs that were hopeful, but not, poppy party songs, was definitely something that we kind of ran with. And I think you can look at the songs and get a lot of different angles, but I think each song is different and unique to itself, but I think it all kind of ties together to the meaning that we kind of came up with for the album.
Yeah.
Just because, I think when we were writing the record, I mean, we were all still in high school. We were all still, kind of moving out and stuff, and so a lot of the songs are, some of them are about when I moved out, and some of them are just about the seasons that we were kind of going through in the year and a half that we were, growing up and writing these songs. And so I think it's just kind of a group of songs that don't really have a full story altogether, but I think when you can listen to it and hear the meaning of the album, it kind of ties together just by knowing that. But yeah, I don't think there was like a main storyline that we had set for everything. I think it was just the season that we were in.
Yeah. Well, let's go off of that then. Your newest single, Cardboard Box Spaceship, we played it earlier. How did this song come about? What was the meaning behind this one? That
one was actually the one that I wrote about when I moved out, actually. I was in high school, and that was actually one we came away with when we went on that trip. But so basically it was kind of just an analogy of being a little boy and, growing up and, growing up in a house of, a lot of kids. And my family, I'm one of 10 kids.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. We're 2 of 10. So, right. It was definitely probably not the most easy household to live in.
Yeah.
And, there's a lot of responsibilities that we had. And so I think really where that song came from was I was, just a kid and wanted to, spread my wings and fly a little bit. And, I use the analogy of just being a little boy in his room, finding little objects to go on a trip.
Yeah.
And just take a new adventure. And so that was definitely the song that was one that was about me moving out and growing up and going into probably the biggest season of my life of just, starting to provide for myself and feeling, scared a lot of times and wanting to feel closer to, the Lord or whatever and just closer to people around me and whatever. I think it was just kind of a song about the adventure I was kind of going on. But yeah.
I love that song, and something I love about your music is the way that you literally paint a picture with your lyrics and your music. And I mean, that's why you wrote the song, but then someone else can listen to it and feel something different, but you can get lost so easily in your music, and I think that's phenomenal. So good job.
That's
with
awesome.
That.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Really, that means a lot.
Yeah, I love just listening to a song, and literally when I was listening to that song, I just felt like I was out in a forest, by myself type of deal.
So cool. Nice.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah. I love it. It's on repeat.
I love that. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you like it.
Yeah, definitely. I'm so excited for this next new album, the whole album. I know I'm just going to sit there and just get lost in it for days. So.
Oh, sure.
So stoked.
It's a fun one. For sure.
Yay. Okay. So now, off of Musings, is there a song that just resonates with you when you think about the recording process? Maybe if it changed a lot during the process since it was a year and a half, you said? Or is there just one track that comes to mind?
I think they all have special, meanings behind each of them for me personally and for the guys. I think one of them that's really cool to me, it's a song called Penn. And it's about when me and my girlfriend started dating and just about what I think about when I think of her. And it's definitely a different song than all the other ones. We've got a lot of different instruments in it. And we kind of intended to have that song be a little more stripped down, I guess. Not as much, driving guitars or a lot of effects. And so I think that one is special to me in the fact of the meaning behind it, and also just, even what you said about what you asked about the recording process, we just have never recorded some of the instruments that we used for that one. And so, our drummer, found a cello and, just hopped on it and started playing it, and we tracked it, and it sounded really cool, and he's never even touched a cello before, so it was just kind of just kind of a cool thing. And we used a lot of roomy stuff instead of direct mics and stuff like that. And so it was definitely something that we wanted to approach differently than the rest of the songs.
Yeah.
Because we were so used to recording full band music. But we wanted to approach that one a different way. And I think each song has a unique way that we recorded it. But I think for me personally, and I think even the other guys, that's even when we play it live, everyone does something differently than what we usually do. So yeah, I think that one is definitely one that we could all agree on that was unique in the recording process. From
talking to you now, it just seems like you guys are basically fearless to go into a studio and just be like, let's try something. Who knows what it's going to be like, but let's just try it.
Yeah, I think that's why we took so much time. It's just like we didn't want to do the same cookie-cuttery thing that most bands do. We wanted to think outside the box and take our time with it. And if we didn't like something, the next day we went in and we just redo it. And I remember our producer being like, guys, I want you guys to be picky with this. I want us to be picky with it, and I want us to retrack things that we want to retrack. We retracked the drums probably 3 times on some of the songs just because we didn't like it. And if you know anything about drum tracking, that's the hardest part to track, in my opinion, just because it's, a lot of setup, a lot of tear down, and a lot of just working around things. And so it was definitely, I'm kind of getting off track now, but I think it was just, I don't know. I think that's why we took a long time to figure things out, is so we could spend a lot more time, kind of experimenting with things that we had never done before and be a little bit fearless with different things. So, yeah.
Good. I like it. So again, guys, Musings, it comes out tomorrow. For you guys, are you the type of band that would set goals for yourself, or do you just kind of just take life as it comes?
Definitely the second option. I think even just for me in my own life, with everything, I just kind of take things as it comes. So I think just doing that for the band is, a good way to go. We definitely want to, our music to reach people and to people to hear it and feel something from it and help them. And a big thing about us is we love people a lot. We love to just talk to people and meet people and just really just love on them. And just, if they have problems or need to talk about anything, then feel free to talk to us. So I would say our goal is really just to, we're going to be touring more in the future. We have a tour coming up in November that'll go up the Midwest and sort of some of the East Coast.
Sweet. I will be there. I'm on the East Coast. I'm totally going to be there. I will find the closest date.
Yeah. You guys, we're super stoked about it. So it's going to be fun. But, really just, to go to as many places as we can. Yeah. And love on as many people as we can encounter. So
I like it.
I think that's our goal for sure.
I like it. Well, before we go any further, how can people get this album? How can people check you out?
We're on Spotify. We're on Amazon Music. We're on YouTube. We're on wherever you want to find us. So we're on iTunes, Apple Music. It's basically available to whoever wants to listen to it. If you want it, if you just want a copy of it, we can probably hook you up. Just email us, and we'll figure out some way to get it to you. We just want people to hear it.
Yeah.
So, it's available worldwide, everywhere. Anywhere on your online music stores and at shows and stuff, we have CDs and we'll have vinyls for this one. So, so it's available wherever you can find it.
Nice. I have a question. This is kind of random, but you were saying vinyl, and I don't know if you know this because you're in the music business now. Is cassettes really coming back?
Cassettes are really coming back.
They are? Okay.
Yeah, one of my friends in a band from Denton, Texas called Sad Cops, which, by the way, everyone needs to check them out because they're amazing. He actually had his own little cassette label where he would make cassettes for bands and stuff like that. So cassettes are, especially you kind of in the scene that we're in, we're more in the indie rock. Kind of alternative scene. It's definitely coming back, and it's a really, I don't know if anyone ever listens to them actually. Personally, I really don't. I think it's just kind of a cool thing to have. I've bought a couple, and I think they're really cool. And I drive a really old car, so it's cool to be able to play tapes sometimes. But they're definitely coming back, and it's an easy, cheap way to distribute your music.
It really is.
Yeah, I mean, you can do it from your home. You just literally buy a tape recorder and record your music onto a tape. So I personally think they're really cool. So but they're definitely coming back.
Growing up, it was just tapes. You had your Walkman. That was the thing. Oh, I have to rewind. You had to work for your music, basically.
Yeah, for sure.
So, okay.
Yeah, I had a CD player, so I was probably a little bit later on.
Okay.
But then anytime I would try and run with it, it would skip.
Yeah.
It was a disc, and it would jump around in the CD player. So.
And you couldn't put it sideways when you wanted to put it in a coat pocket or something. You couldn't put it sideways.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
And then there's MP3 players that look like a little pill bottle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, those were kind of cool.
Oh, Lord, everything's coming back.
Yeah.
All right. So to get back on track, so to end things out here, we're going to be playing I Guess I'm Not a Part of Your Dreams. And before I let you go, could you give me some insight about this song?
Yeah, so this one is something about it's about something that we personally feel really strongly about. We want to be careful with talking about it. So if anyone wants to, discuss it with us or talk about it with us, we want to leave that open to interpretation. But also, if people have questions about it, definitely come talk to us about it. We don't want to offend anybody or hurt anyone's feelings or anything like that. But if anyone has any questions, you totally feel free to email us or message us on our social medias. But it's about something that we personally feel strongly about, just in our world right now, kind of going on. But yeah, it's definitely it's a deep song that we feel really strongly about. So, but yeah, it's a cool song to us. But yeah.
Well, guys, you gotta see them live. You gotta go talk to them, email them, chat with them, and they'll talk with you about it. That's really cool.
Yeah.
I like that. So you guys got touring coming up. Your new album comes out tomorrow. Look for it. Musing's out tomorrow. You guys got to get this album. I know I'm going to fall in love with it immediately if the first two songs were anything to say. So awesome.
Yeah, exciting. We're excited about it.
Yeah, it's so good. So good. We're going to end things now with the song. So Jackson, if you could honor us with introducing this song, we'll take a listen.
Cool. This is Jackson from Little Image, and this song is called I Guess I'm Not a Part of Your Dreams.